Welcome back to Booktuber Advent Day 5. We are over halfway through this mini series. I hope you guys are enjoying it and having as much fun as I am, because I'm having a blast. If you missed the previous episodes and don't know what Booktuber Advent is, this is where I am having a different booktuber choose me a book that I am reading every day leading up to Christmas. And today we have Maddie from Maddie Covington. Maddie is a channel that I've been lurking on for a while. Her videos are so cozy and relaxing. I love to just pop them on. So I finally decided to stop being a lurker, stop being scared, and reach out to her and ask her if she would be willing to pick me a book, and she said yes. Maddie is literally the sweetest person. If you haven't checked her channel out, definitely do. Her channel is going to be linked down in the description box, but I'm very excited to see what she picks for me. I know she reads a little bit of romantasy, but I also think reads a lot of regular romance, so I don't know. I don't know what she's going to go with, but I'm very curious to find out.
Hello Mel and all of her lovely friends watching. My name is Maddie and I am going to give you 3 book recommendations. You cannot just ask me for one. I'm sorry, I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to give you 3 options. You can pick which one you're interested most in. And I did browse your Goodreads, so fingers crossed you haven't read any of these, but I tried my best. The first one is going to be The Black Witch by Lori Forrest. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. Young adult, magical creatures, magical university. I personally didn't love the first book, but I adored the series as a whole, so it is kind of a commitment if you want to get into this one, but I highly recommend it. Book 2 is going to be Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is a romantasy series. I have not read book 2 just yet, but it's a really unique romantasy series, and you, Mel, read a lot more romantasy than I do, so I think if you read book 1 and 2, you can let me know if it's worth continuing. And book 3 is going to be Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. I read it recently and loved it, and I know that you've read Carissa Broadbent before, so I figured you might like picking up another book of hers. That is it. Enjoy. I hope you haven't read any of these, and I can't wait to watch the video.
Okay, so Maddie picked 3 books for me, which, thank you, incredible, amazing. And I don't know what to pick. Crisis mode. I have read Guild, and I've read up to books 3 or 4 of that series. The first book is definitely very different than the continuation of the series. It's not my absolute favorite. I did read it back when I wasn't reading as much romantasy, so I may revisit it at some point, but I think I'm going to pass on that one. And then we have Black Witch and Daughter of No Worlds. This book scares me. I adore the Crowns of Nyaxia series. It is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, duology of all time, but I'm scared of this one. I've heard it's very different tropes and leans a little bit more toward some of the other Carissa Broadbent books that have not been as much my favorite, but also like I love her writing and I love her prose, and I really do want to read her entire backlist. So this is a really strong contender. It's also on my self-destruct list, so like I need to pick this book up. But one of my patrons, Nat, has read The Black Witch, and she's been telling me to read it for a very, very long time. And you kind of sold me by saying magical companions and magical school. Do you know that those are my buzzwords? Maddie, those are my buzzwords. So I think I have to go with this one. I don't know anything else about it other than what you just told me and that Nat likes it. I am a little scared by it's a commitment, but also I'm willing to put some faith into it and go into it knowing that with the hope that I will enjoy it enough to want to continue. I did look on Goodreads though. This is chunky. This book is very, 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 very chunky, but that's okay. We love a good chunky book around here. I'm going to download the audiobook. It's a half day for me today, so I should be able to get a lot of good reading time in. I need to do some housework and run a couple of errands, so I think it's going to be a good day for a chunky young adult book. I'm in the mood. I think this one's going to be good. Okay, so today is a very busy day-ish. Not actually. I'm gonna go to work. It's my last day of work before I'm off for a whole week, which I never do. And I'm so excited. I only have to work until 11, so even better that it's not a full day. I'm absolutely thrilled. So I'm gonna go do that, get that out of the way, maybe grab some breakfast on my way in. I'm kind of hungry, even though it's only 6:30 in the morning. And then I think I may treat myself. I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to see if I can try on the Apple AirPods Max and see what I think about them. Normally my head is too like small this way. No, too small this way. And they don't sit on my ears properly. They sit like halfway down my ear. I've tried the Sony. I've tried the Beats, and I can't wear either one of them. So Tori really, really, really liked the AirPods Max when she got them. So I'm gonna go try those. I love my earpods. I carry those to work. They go with me everywhere. But when I'm home, leaving them in for like 3 or 4 hours to do watch alongs or to clean really, really hurts my ears. So I kind of want something that is a little nicer to my ears when I'm at home and wearing them for hours on end. Whereas my AirPods are perfect for working out and for going to work and being a little bit more discreet. So that's the plan for today. We're gonna see. They're very, very expensive, so I really want to try them on and see if I like them before I buy them. But yeah, that's the plan for today. Maybe reward myself because I really need to do some cleaning too for me to try them out while I'm picking up this pigsty. Okay, so mission accomplished. I ended up going to Best Buy instead of Target so I could try them on, but we'll talk about this and unbox these in just a second. First, I wanted to talk to you guys because I've gotten to 25% of Black Witch, and I'm into part 2 so far. I'm definitely liking part 2 more than I liked part 1. I'm having a pretty good time with this. I'm honestly a little surprised. When we first started, I was very, very unsure. I was like, this is like old school YA, but not in a Fireborn way, this is the Mean Girls, poor pitiful me, who am I gonna date, oh I've never been kissed kind of way, which is just not something that I can relate to as an adult. Like some stuff in YA I can still really, really relate to, but the whole have never been kissed kind of thing, Mean Girls in school, not as relatable for me at the moment. However, this did start to really pick up and kind of move away from that as we've gotten into part 2. It still reads very YA, but in the most bingeable way. We are following Elwyn, I think. I can't remember her name. And she grew up with her uncle because something happened to her parents when she was very young. She and her brothers grew up with her uncle, and he has raised them to the best of his ability, but he does not allow wands at all in the house. And in this world, wands are part of magic. Most of the time it's men that have magic, or at least a lot of the magic. Women tend to not have as much magic, so men are considered the heads of the household. Women can have magic, but it's a little more rare for them to be super powerful than it is the men. However, her grandmother was one of the most powerful witches of all, the Black Witch, and she's just always grown up assuming she has no power, she has no magic. She was fine with that. She's at the age where now her aunt wants to handfast her and get her basically married off because she's 17 and it's time, and how dare she try to go to university without having a man to hold her hand. And uncle doesn't want that. He says she is due for more than that. She ends up going to university and finds out that she might have more power than she originally thought, and now these evil demon-like things are after her. And it's very chosen one, but in a fun way. Like I said, in the beginning, I was not sold on it, but as we've continued on, I just find myself wanting to pick it up and listen. It reads so incredibly quickly, and I definitely think part 2 has kind of amped it up a little bit. So I just checked in 31% of the way in. I am enjoying kind of the little budding romance that we've got going on. I think Lucas is going to be a character I'm really going to like. I hope we get to see a lot more of him, but I'm not loving our female lead. She's just very meek. She's very poor pitiful me. She lets things happen to her rather than getting mad and wanting to do something about things, to the point where even another character acknowledges it at some point. So I'm hoping that she starts to, sorry, Wilder's playing behind the camera. I'm hoping that she eventually starts to grow a backbone and get mad about the things that are happening around her and really want to do something about it instead of just being so passive. We'll see. That is my hope. That is my hope, because I love a feisty female main character, and I know that a lot of people that have really enjoyed this overall series like that as well. So I think maybe she's just going to have to develop and grow, and I'm good with that. I am totally. So now that we've talked about that, I'm going to unbox these babies. I had a crisis when I got there because I did not know what color. I put them on, and I have a very short head, and so the Beats and the Sony's they don't sit right on my ear. So when I tried these on and they actually fit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get these. And then I had to decide what color, and that is so hard to do. I was between the purple, the champagne, and the blue, And then I kind of tossed out the purple. Blue is my favorite color, but champagne, like that color is something I'm really gravitating toward right now. However, I was like, if I have on makeup or something, I wonder if they're gonna get dirty because they're pretty light. And so I decided to go with Old Trusty and get the blue ones. I'm so excited to try these. I have a lot of chores I need to do today. I think we talked yesterday in Bree's episode about all of the bad chores that I am responsible for, and so I got a little bit done yesterday. I got the trash taken out, I got one load of laundry done, but now I need to put up that load of laundry, do some more laundry. This room is a complete disaster. I need to vacuum, I need to do the dishes, so like many things that I need to do today. So I'm hoping that I can just pop these on and go about it. Why do they make this so hard to get into? There we go. Ooh, they're pretty. I couldn't see the color in store, so I was just going off of the listing, and oh, they're so pretty. So this is them in the case. I love this color blue. Oh, stunning. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what it means by smart case, but look how pretty they are. Yes! I'm very excited for these. They're going to be very noise canceling because I bet I just got extremely loud because I can't hear myself talk anymore. Okay, how do I turn these on and pair them? I'm going to figure that out, then we're going to get to cleaning. All right, halfway point and AirPods Max update. Halfway first. I am still liking this. I still find it very bingeable. We kind of went back to the whole obsessing over boys thing, and it's not in a romancy way, so it's kind of just grating on my nerves a little bit because it feels so very repetitive. There's definitely some very repetitive scenes and moments in here, but I'm like, please stop obsessing about boys for 5 seconds because we've got other things to do. And kind of the way that she's handling things and the way that certain conflicts are going about, they're just very juvenile. It's like she stole somebody, she took their cake away because mean people aren't allowed to have cake, which relatable, but it just feels a little juvenile. So it's kind of funny on the one hand and kind of annoying on the other. So I am liking it, but I think this is going to end up leaning just a little bit too young on the young adult scale for me personally. But I'm hoping that the series does age up as she ages up because she's 17, but it reads more like 14, 15 to me right now, which again is completely fine. I just think that I am not like super invested in the types of conflicts that we're having right now because of that. Apparently there's a controversy that I wasn't aware of. I found it when I was looking to see exactly what Nat rated it on Goodreads, and there's a lot of racism in this book. It's very, very heavy, and I was actually noticing it and very curious if this is something that the author had addressed, if it was something other people had problems with. The main character is subscribing to these beliefs, and I don't know if this is going to end up being a character moment for her, a learning moment where she comes to realize that that's what she was taught, but that's not the way that it should be. That's what I'm hoping, and if it is, I think it will be very well done, and it will be something that's very important to discuss because it's in our world, it's in fantasy worlds, it's in everyday life, and so if we can address it and hit it from a really good angle, I think it's going to be something really important to have. But I'm still waiting to see exactly how everything plays out. So I'm halfway. I currently have 3.5 hours left, so this one is, it's a longer boy, but like I said, it is reading really fast. It's really easy to listen to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may pick up the ebook of it because it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I can switch back and forth because now I'm sitting for a while. I've gotten most of my chores done. I got another load of laundry done. I do need to switch it over into the dryer. I did the dishes. I did not get the book room cleaned up. I've decided that is a problem for another day. But quickly on the AirPods, I wore them for an hour while I was doing all of my laundry and stuff, and that perfect fit that I was telling you about, they, because they're so heavy, as you leave them on for a minute, they start to sink, and I'm not sure that I love them. They're giving me a little bit of a headache, and I'm so disappointed because when I tried them on in the store, you're kind of hooked up to a cord, so you're slightly leaned over the table trying to put them on and see if they fit, because obviously they don't want you to run off and steal them. But in the store, they felt like they were going to be okay in the limited amount of what I got to put them on, but at home, I'm not absolutely obsessed. The sound quality, amazing. The stereo and the spatial audio and all of that, incredible. But the fit does concern me a little bit. So I haven't worn over the ear headphones in a very long time. So I'm thinking maybe it's just me getting used to them. So I'm gonna wear them a little bit more tonight. And then I think I literally just need like a teeny tiny amount of like 3 millimeters of them up a little higher on my head. So they make these covers for the headbands because they're made of mesh to keep them from getting dirty, and they're silicone. And so there was one that was like $5 on Amazon. So I was like, I'll get this, and that'll give me a week or so to continue to try them and then put that on and see, because I only need so little of a lift on them, I think, to make them more comfortable. See if that gives me the lift that I need while also protecting my headphones. And if that works, great, incredible. I will continue to use them. If not, I'll just return them. But for my small head girlies out there, these are not as small head friendly as I was hoping that they would be. I heard that they were better than the Sonys, and so I was like, cool, if they're better than the Sonys, they should work out great. And I didn't apparently do a very good job trying them on in the store. That, or like I said, they're very heavy, so they just kind of sink, and I think that that's what happened after I had them on for a while. They settled and became less comfortable. Anyway, that is my Apple AirPods Max review that you never knew that you needed and probably never wanted. So yeah, I have nothing else. I'm just gonna go back to listening to my book now. It's that time of night where it's time to get ready for bed and just cozy curl up and read a little bit more of my book. I am only about 60% of the way. I haven't read a whole lot more of Black Witch, but I am getting very frustrated, so I figured now was probably a good time to come and chat with you guys about some of my frustrations. The biggest one is how much this is dragging at this point, how repetitive it feels, how stalled out we feel right now. I just don't think the plot is moving at all. We're talking and droning on and on and on about boys, and you can't like this guy because I like this guy, and if you like him then I'm going to sabotage you, and oh my goodness, I have to be married, but wait, it's against the rules to be nude. And it's just, I don't know, I'm not vibing with that. I was fine with it when it felt like it was going to be kind of the setup to the story, help with world building, kind of give us our initial overview into the world, but it just feels like petty high school drama, which is fine. It's enjoyable, it's entertaining, it's dramatic, but not when we're 450 pages into a book and that's all we've had, because it's just like, I need more than that. I need more characters development. I want more of the romance in general. If we're gonna be talking about boys nonstop, let's at least have some good romance, some good banter, but it's not really there at all. We're just talking about the fact that it should be there, but then I don't get to see any of it. I don't know, I'm just not loving that. On top of the fact that I think I told you guys about the kind of racism and discussions that we were having from that front, which I do think are extremely important to have in fantasy books. Some of my favorite books bring some of these topics to light and really talk about them, and I think that there's an opportunity here to do that, and it's missing that mark because our main character does subscribe to these beliefs. This is something that she has been taught, and so she, even though she kind of knows in the back of her head that it's wrong, still her immediate thought is, well, he's a Kel, well, he's a werewolf, whatever they call those, well, she's this, and her instant thoughts are to go straight to that, which again I think is an important side of the conversation to have, but I wish at this point in time, since we've been talking about it for so long, I would start to see a little bit more growth, I guess, from her or from the people around them, but it just feels like we're saying the same things over and over again. And I just wish that there was more discussion about how this is not okay, seeing our character learn and grow. But the main thing that I'm having a problem with is the constant boy drama that's not actually doing anything for anything. So I'm gonna go lay in bed, I'm gonna read a little bit more. I did hear, Maddie said this first book was not her favorite, that you were investing in the series and not just the first book, and I have a feeling this was partially why. And Nat says that it does get better, our characters grow up, we stop talking so much about teenage boy drama, and the plot does really move forward. But right now, I couldn't really tell you what the overarching plot of this book is supposed to be. It's literally all been teenage drama. We've had moments here or there talking about her potentially being the chosen one and how there may be this like rebellion war looming, and I'm assuming all of that's going to play into the plot, but I haven't seen any of it, and I really, really need to at this point. Okay, so I finished The Black Witch, and I'm probably about to eat my words on everything that I just said in the previous clip. Sorry if you get a little whiplash. I kind of had a little whiplash reading this book. I think in the end, I really came to appreciate more of the things that I was critiquing previously, especially the topics of race and racism in this book. It's very heavy-handed. If that is a trigger for you, then I don't think I would recommend reading this because it's the prominent complete thread throughout all of this book. I was pretty frustrated initially because I felt like we weren't discussing things. We were just allowing the racism and the negative thoughts and behaviors to just be a thing, and nobody was questioning it, and it was a little frustrating for me from that regard because I wanted to have more of a conversation about it, and I'm not really sure what to say about it because I am not the right person to be speaking on this, but I think in my opinion, she did a pretty good job of overlaying that discussion and belief system and kind of challenging those beliefs and seeing the characters grow. It just took a lot longer than I would have expected for it to get there. So I did appreciate those discussions, and it's such, like I said, a complicated thread and such a deep thread within this story. I do still think that the boy obsession thing was a bit overdone. It was a lot and it felt very high school, but not high school in like junior, senior. It felt very like freshman, junior high school, I suppose. But in the end, the conversations on women and oppression I thought was really well done. So it was just kind of that weird juxtaposition of it's doing some things extremely well while also overdoing some other things. And I think I just needed to find a little bit of a better balance between the YA-ness and the hard topics, because Fireborn does that 10 out of 10 incredible. It balances those more difficult topics with a fun YA story so well, and I don't think this one balanced that quite as well in my opinion. A lot of that may have been length. This book is over 600 pages and it doesn't need to be. I think if a lot of that fluff and like high school petty drama were pulled out and some of the more repetitive boy obsessed scenes were pulled out, then I might feel differently, but in the end it was just a little repetitive for a lot of that. However, it's extremely bingeable and I can see the bones of a really great story and a really great world there. I wish that the whole Black Witch thing had been a little bit more a part of the story, because they lay the like discussion, the groundwork for it, but it doesn't really come into play until the very, very end. And even then, it still never really circles back. And it was kind of odd for that to be laid out as the plot of the story, but then it wasn't actually there. So I don't know. I have very mixed feelings on this because I think it did some things so incredibly well and other things not so well at all. So in the end, I think I'm gonna give this one, I'm struggling like I did in Bree's pick because it could be a 3.5, it could be a 4. I think I'm gonna lean on like a 3.75 and cop out a little bit, but I did enjoy this. I will be continuing on in the series. So thank you so much to Maddie for suggesting this. I am fully willing to make this a commitment. I liked the bones of it quite a lot and I will be continuing on. So thank you for picking this for me. If you guys wanna just let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave a feather down in the comments below. Stay tuned for the next booktuber and very interesting book choice coming up tomorrow. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!